Yo, what's up, guys? Damnation here. We're back with another episode of No Quarter. This is episode 81, talking about Vxp Weekend and the upcoming FM changes. Tonight we got Stormcatcher. We got Simba.
Hello.
We got Watchman.
Hi, guys.
And we have Mayor. What's up, Mayor?
Best till last.
So, where do you guys want to start at? You want to start about VXP targets, or do you want to start about the FM? Where do you guys want to start? Don't all speak up at once now. All right, I guess we'll talk about VXP targets first. How's everybody finding them? I'm really happy with them, mainly because you only have to hit them twice and you're skulled. So I was real happy about that.
They're a fun target layout.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I didn't sort of jump in first on that one, because I thought, well, there wasn't much to say about it, really, that much. Yeah, I hit 2 and I fully ranked. I had 4 of the new Piggy Sues, fully ranked, you know.
I'd be happy. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I think that on the first hit, I got about 246k. Obviously, the second hit didn't get as many because it took it up to 75%, and so it's about 135 or something like that. But because that took me to the full 75%. You know, so yeah, it was 2 hits using a Silver Salty crew. You know.
I don't know. I think they were okay.
Go ahead and
I
finish.
wasn't too big on them.
What did you not like about them?
I am not much of. I like scatters, and I wasn't too thrilled that they didn't have a scatter option for the Pegasus.
Gotcha.
I've never been big on the ballistic version or missiles, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, missiles. But let me ask you this: how many people in here? I know one does, but how many people have their Pegasus actually they're done and they're actually working on the target as opposed to going in and just suiciding?
Yeah, I had 4 holes that were at 3 were at U2 and 1 was at U1, and all they had was 6 missiles on them, you know. And I've refitted them since, basically, you know. They've all got all of their armor specials. Well, actually, 2 haven't got armors yet. I'm waiting for next week's FM to finish that. But yeah, I took them in blank, and it's still say it's 2 hits, you know.
Well, yeah, but at this point, I'm more interested not so much in how many hits, because we all know it's 2, no matter what you got on. I'm more interested though in who's actually played the target as opposed to just dying in it, and what their experience has been and what they found about the target at this point.
It's taken me 3 times to do one.
I did notice that I was taking more, is it corrosive damage than missile
The
damage?
121 is more corrosive, and the
Yeah.
122 is more ballistic damage.
Mm.
So either way, it's a catch-22.
Don't you mean
How that
missile
works?
damage?
Whatever.
Now, Mayor, I know, Mayor, you have been tinkering a lot in these targets. So if you want to share your experiences.
The 121 is for auto. That's what it's primarily built around. And the 122 is primarily for driving. You use the fogs and avoid that annoying missile.
Jimmy!
Hang on a second. Keep going.
That's pretty much it. Since they've lowered the evade on the missiles, MGS3 does work with Prometheus. Yeah, Prometheus and like 35% projectile speed. So there shouldn't be really anyone saying counters don't work anymore, because they do.
Just jump back into my base thing.
Yeah, I personally, like I said, I haven't really had much experience actually playing the targets, but I've been following the Discord fairly closely, and it seemed like their adjustments that they made to the flak evasion definitely helped a lot.
From what I think I saw, someone said they changed it from 6% to 30%,
Yeah, I think I saw the same thing.
which surprisingly made quite a lot of difference. I mean, I went from shooting 1 to 9 to about 6 out of 9, which is a lot more than 30%, but you know, we'll roll with it.
Yeah, we'll just not say anything and hope they don't watch this episode. That's all.
Well, funny thing is, I figured it out before they changed it. I was like, okay, this is great. I won't tell anyone. They go on update. I'm like, that was, yeah.
Are you using the countermeasure? Yeah.
Yeah.
Special.
Prometheus.
Okay, I put the Galea on mine because of the pen survival 1600.
See, I went with missile crits. Primary why. Also, another thing, armors do work. Like, they just do. For once, they've made it so the 5k armors take more than 1 minute repair off.
That's good to know.
What's everybody's armor setup going to be? I know I'm probably going to go with 1-in-1.
Same here.
Go on.
2 missile on ship 5, 1-in-1 on the rest of the ships.
Yeah, I've got a couple of pens on each at the moment. I'm just going 2 pens, and obviously one's going into 5. I think I'm going to go with 3 Nessus and 2 of the. What's the other CRC? I'm trying to think of the name.
Turin.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's an interesting thing because, like, I'm wondering, like, for auto, do you think that mixing the CICs is going to go well if you're going to be autoing?
Yes. I don't know anyway.
So in the 121, there's the vultures that do pen damage. They're single target and they primarily target ship 5 because that's awesome. And the stonerfish at the end, which does horrific damage because kicks eye, and yeah, that's single target as well and primarily targets ship 5.
Yeah.
And even with, let me check, 438% survival, it's still chunked. So good luck with that.
Have you got yours at U3?
No.
Are they upgraded at all?
One of them is. One of them's U1.
Just roll down the damage. Defense. Let's have a look. I've got 450 now and 446 on the pen. 450 on corrosive. But that's at U2. Adding, obviously, going to U3 adds another, what was it? 157.38% on both. So that would go up to the 600% on both of them.
So it doesn't work like that. All it will do
Probably
is
not,
add 3k survival, which minuscule amount. But no, the upgrades, they don't add that amount, they just change the base value from the previous.
Yeah, that's something they've been very poor in communicating.
Oh yeah, of course, it's not just a flat number that adds on. It's just it's a percentage of what's already there, sort of thing. Right.
What also helps some people that if you have the bladed missile, it has flak evasion on it, where the one that was in the last raid does not. So if everybody can hit the higher targets in the FM and get them plenty of shards, the bladed missile will help in these targets.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get a show last week, so funny enough, we had a few things to chat about on that one. But yeah, I took advantage of the feature in the in the 901s, and managed to get about 72 million points, putting in a lot of seat time. And then I went out and hit a few other targets and managed to get 30 bladed pinion missiles, because that was all you need if you put in 2 MDS freeze on every hole, at least. So 30 was about as many as you needed, so that's what I managed to grab them. Spent very little, fortunately, doing the raid last week, but yeah, and because the bladed pinion missile, it also does 5k extra damage, I think. All the stats are the same. I think the weight's the same. It does 5k extra damage, but it's got the 50% flak evasion. So hopefully that'll be a big help.
I thought the bladed missiles got less damage.
No, they've got 5k
more.
more. They've got 5k more. Yeah. Yeah, all the other stats remain the same. Weight, projectile speed, accuracy, range. But it's got 5k more damage and 50% flak evasion. But of course, you can only get them from shards as opposed to winning it outright as a prize,
Because the first BXP target I went into, I only had 2 holes. I would have had all 4, but I don't know what the heck happened. I lost 1. So the 4th one is in. The 4th one that would have been done, be done here shortly. But the first one I went in, I found out they had countermeasures. I couldn't even hit none of the turrets. But of course, that was a 122.
Yeah. I only hit a couple of the 121s because it was right next to my base, sort of thing. Didn't try the 122, to be honest with you.
It's a fun target.
I don't know. I don't like it too much. You can't hide in clouds.
You've got to go back from one to the other.
Okay.
Are you there now, Chuck? Or have you fully connected?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Chuck.
Welcome,
I
Chuck.
had microphone problems.
You have all kinds of problems. Microphone is just the latest one.
Hey.
Chrome was acting up.
So, how's your Vxp Weekend going?
My Pegasus fleet, I've got 4 ships, all completed, fully blank ones. 2 ships are fully completed. I had leftover tokens from upgrading Saturns that helped out a lot, the T8 assault tokens. All 4 ships are already U3, and I'm trying to figure out what my best solution for builds is. Right now I'm using Apex build, which I'm slightly changing variations on because of damage that I'm taking.
Yeah, I found that I had 10 tier 8 assault tokens still tucked away. I didn't even realise I had. So that was nice. So that sped it up. But they're not at U3 at the moment. I've got one finally going to U2. It's got about a day and a half on it. And then I'll go to U3 on them. But they have.
I think I was a redheaded stepchild. I think I was a redheaded stepchild of the bunch, and I didn't have any assault tokens to be able to use. So
I don't think I had none either.
okay, well, good then. I'm not alone. Misery loves company.
It
I
was
had
a
a few.
really good deal a couple of months ago, or about a month and a half ago, where it had build tokens, the upgrade tokens, the flag token, and the flag upgrade token as one combo pack.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. So you guys who had the tokens had them because you bought them. Okay, that explains totally why I don't have any yet.
No, I didn't buy them. I think I
It
got
was
mine
too
as a
sweet a deal
reward.
not to ignore it.
Well, yeah, knowing that assault would be the next fleet that'll be coming out for the FM, it was like put away and bank them. You know what I mean? And then I forgot all about it. It's only when I started building them, I thought, oh, I've got tokens. I had to burn them off before I could actually claim my FM tokens because I couldn't take any one-day build tokens from the FM until I burnt them off.
So do we want to talk about builds a little bit and what you're using and where you're going, what kind of specials and everything? Because I mean, obviously the missiles and the countermeasures are fairly self-explanatory, but what kind of different specials are people going with?
I will not and will not ever use a lowered mount on my hulls.
That's rude.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and start with you then, Chuck. Like, what different specials are you going to use then?
I'm using the rollered special, and I'm not using the lowered mount. I've got all pinion missiles. I have one Circ scatter gun on, and 2 MDS-3s.
Why the scattergun?
The subs.
Something that was discussed in one of the crib shows that I thought, well, put it on and see if it works, and if it doesn't, I'll be refitting it.
Well, go into a little more detail. What was discussed?
Because of the way the scatter and the corrosive hits the ships, it seems to work on them a lot faster than just missiles. And it can hit underwater.
You know, missiles with retargeting does that. Which is
But
where
I put it on anyway.
So I went a different way. I was going to put like the CM4 on, and I thought, no, do you know what? I use a lower cannon mount. It gives me much more corrosive pen survival than the actual CM4 does, and gives me 35% pen damage. I know it takes range off. And I also used, instead of the rolling barrel, whatever it's called, I've used multi-lens target tracker, which gives you a sonar range of 80. It gives you its retarget rules true, pen range of 30 back again, projectile speed plus 50, pen accuracy plus 30. So, you know, but it gives you a sonar range. And I thought, well, yeah, there is subs in there, you know. We'll see how it works or not. This case may be, but they're pretty quick to refit.
So the thing I noticed with it is you spot the subs before they get to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really. There's 4 specials for 1 special slot. Strike 5 works fantastic if you want to use it. Optics, that works fine. Is what I'm preferring because it's got higher accuracy for pen. Rapid roller, which nice reload, blah blah blah, but the reload makes no difference number wise. And multi-lens, which only really provides sonar. So for me, the choice is either rapid roller or optical. Just yeah.
Just real quick, too, Carl and Chad had a question about why for Praetorian sprints work better, but we're saying missile defense system 3 for these ones. Honestly, a lot of that comes down to projectile speed, because projectile speed in the FM targets is extremely important because those missiles travel like madmen, and they're not quite as bad in VXP targets from what I'm seeing and gathering. Is that correct, everybody?
It is. It's also the fact the extra accuracy on Missile Defense System 3 helps a lot, and as you say, the projectile speed isn't as bad. Plus, it's also down to the fact sprints just don't fire.
No, not on these targets.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's really weird. It used to be like, that if a countermeasure shot down missiles, it shot down missiles, no matter what. But now they seem to like to do this thing where certain countermeasures don't work against certain missiles and other countermeasures do. So I don't know. Whether that's intentional or like it's just faulty programming and bad components, I don't know. But that's kind of where we're at with that whole deal.
I think it's because some pirate keeps breaking their targets. We can all blame them.
Yeah, but which one?
Well, yeah, but I mean, that wouldn't have anything to do, though, necessarily with countermeasures just not working against certain things. You know what I mean?
It depends. We know what kicks are like.
Which battery do you guys use on your build?
10 battery here.
I'm gonna use pen battery, but I'm gonna have to I'm probably gonna have to scrap my Saturn so I can get the pen batteries because I don't have any extras.
Yeah, one of our guys said he had done. I said, how did you miss that? I had about 23 stored up somewhere around the place. Because they've been coming out a lot, and I grabbed them while I could, So yeah, I'm using pen battery. Actually, so mine's probably a weird build. I've gone with pen sync drive, pen battery, surgical strike warheads, Galea defense system, lower pen mount, and multi-lens target tracker. It could be a complete absolute chaos failure, or it could work well. You don't know until actually take it out in a battle.
Well, none of y'all using that high-speed missile jets?
No. I was going to use it on the driving build, but then siege targeting just works a lot better.
Well, as surgical strike warheads, I've only got one since it's limited. I'm gonna have to save that for the flagship when it comes out. So I'm gonna have to figure out something to put in its place. Don't know what yet, but I'll figure it out.
Carbon fiber.
It should work.
I know personally I'm hoping a lot of the stuff that people are using in their builds are going to put in the pillage store when pillage comes around. Because, like the Prometheus thing, for example, I don't have that. I missed out on that, so I wouldn't mind if that was in pillage and I could pick it up.
I mean, I come up with about 3 different designs for a Pegasus build because we've got so many penetrative specials because it's one of the oldest weapons we've ever had, like missiles. And there's so many specials for it dating back forever. You know what I mean? It's probably by far that's the highest amount of any special that we could put on any build, but a lot of them are obviously not compatible with other parts, and it's like, wow, you could really spend ages pulling your hair out on which what out of the way to build it,
Well, the biggest thing that was confusing a lot of people is the CICs with the negatives on it. But if you mix the CICs, they balance out the negatives.
Yeah, but of course with 5 holes, you've got to go 3 and 2 one way or the other. So
Oh, we don't know what the stats on the flagship are going to be yet.
Hmm.
Hopefully, the flagship's the answer to the CMs.
Of course, and of course, you have some assholes who are just going to run 2 fleets, one for autoing and one for driving.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Those normal people who don't have 50 billion tokens to spend or $50,000 to spend on shit.
If I had $50,000, I wouldn't be spending it on this shit.
Oh no, I'd send it elsewhere.
Well, that's probably about how much you spend on one weekend of VXP testing it.
Hey, if he's
Maybe
got
they're
the
right.
coin, let him go for it.
I'd be buying a red camera with it.
I save
And
up
then it'd be
12-hour bill or repair tokens for VXP.
So I know me, I'm going to go with an auto build because I'm a lazy pirate. I don't want to drive if I don't have to.
Yes.
Well, if it was anything like the last auto target, yeah.
We're making things more auto-friendly. Right.
I honestly didn't find that the auto target in the last raid, I didn't find it to be all that bad, actually.
It wasn't bad. It all depended on your build and what crew you're using.
Also, it's dependent on if you got it up to U3, which
No.
some of us cannot do because we cannot buy TLOs.
I had one boat up to U1, so the U3 was not an essential thing for that.
The thing I'm going to say is with this as well, the Pegasus, people are going to say, oh, it's U3. No, the only good thing out of U3 is the extra 15% damage. And that's it. Survival won't make much difference.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see what the upgrades on the flag are though, because that's where it usually seems like U3 makes a difference if you can get your flag to U3.
I mean, if they give me a minus 50 million aura, then yeah.
Yeah, you can just drive around and kill boats that are still in the shroud and do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Do we know when the flag's going to drop? Because obviously we've got extra
Pillage.
pillage, yeah?
Yeah, 1 week before the raid.
Yeah, happy days.
Well, it might not be 1 week before the raid.
Because we've got an extra week of FMs.
It could be the week after Bounty or the week before the raid. Probably the week after Bounty, and they'll run another Vxp Weekend on the spell.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're going to have it as a surprise.
I mean
I
that's
would-
kind of a moot point because they've done it before and they haven't dropped some VXP Weekend,
I doubt they're going to do a VXP weekend. I think what they'll do is just like they did last time and do
Another
VXP
shipments.
and pillage.
If they do, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Free.
I would really like to see them come out with kind of like what they did last time for the last flag is come out with a TLC that you can get, your some tier 8 assault tokens in there that you can actually use to, get your flag along a little bit for those people who need that little bit of extra help. That would be great because I was really appreciative when they did that for the last raid cycle for the flag.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could drop the flag at least 2 weeks or before the raid. That would be nice. At least to give people a bit of a chance. To get
Yeah, I mean, either give me some tokens and a TLC, not a ton, just enough to get me over that hump, or do it like 2 weeks before instead of 1 week before. Either or, I'm fine with.
But I mean,
It'd be nice to drop the whole 10-day extra build time on a flag. That would make it much easier.
Well, I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic here.
yeah. I mean, I don't know that much hope. I get the feeling that it's going to be the week before the raid, and because they want everyone to panic, coin build it, and that's their modus operandi most of the time. It's like they say it's a must-have. You must have this hole, and then they give you it, with about 5 days to build it.
So the bonus we have with this month is we get an extra week.
We do.
That's a free 6 days.
Yeah, I mean, and if you can bank a few tokens, because obviously we're still doing the same hole for the next for this raid, aren't we? So if you can hang on to a couple of weeks of FM tokens after this week, so it might be worth taking them in and smash them into the Pegasus flag.
I love smashing.
and Damien Quentin in chat is saying about saving the 6 days from the previous week and instant the flag. My experience has been, for the last couple flags anyway, full build time, including armors and what for flags, has been usually around 14 days, give or take.
Yeah, so if you've managed to hang on to 2 weeks worth of FMs, so say next week and the week after, you could be good.
Right, but then again, that all depends on where you're at with the rest of your Pegasus fleet too.
Oh, obviously.
So I mean, well, it's a good concept, and if you can do it, that's great. But like I said, it just depends on where a lot of people are with the rest of their fleet, if they're willing to sacrifice, a boat or two to get the flag done.
Well, I would still say to do that, and the reason why, if they're saying the flag's a must-have and it's going to add a lot more to the fleet, I'd say make sure you have the flag done, even if you can't get your 5th hole fully done. You get where I'm coming from? Like, it's like then concentrate on that flag. You know what I mean? If it is going to add those bonuses to the fleet that we hope it might, concentrate on the flag and then get finish the rest of the final hole or wherever you got to do, for the second and last raid.
All right, so we're at about the halfway point. Do we want to go on and talk about the proposed FM changes?
Not thrilled with them.
So basically, for those of you who don't know, apparently they've decided that about every 3 months now they're going to change the top target in the FM. So I think it's the first FM after the raid. We're getting the 131 will be gone, and we'll see a replacement target for that.
Good.
Oh, you see, I knew this was going to be an interesting part of the show because I knew there was going to be some very strong opinion in 2 different fashions on this.
I wonder who that could be.
I wonder. Personally, I think just leave the FM alone. I mean, in the 8 years that this game has been going, anytime that they have fundamentally tried to change anything about the FM, it's blown up in their face every single time.
Now, I don't mind spending a bit of money on this game, not crazy money, but one thing I've always objected to is spending money on the FM. Now I can grind the FM out, and I have done for the most part already this week, in between working and playing with my new camera and stuff. But, if it gets to the point where I have to start spending money to get the points that I need to complete the FM, that might be time for me to start walking away. Because I really fundamentally object to having to pay for the FM, because the original concept of that was it was meant to be a catch-up. Where players could pick up bits that they needed and we pick up a few tokens. And if we've been pushed into that, then I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the direction that the game is taking with that, especially the huge amount of points that have been needed recently. I think it's completely unacceptable. Besides the targets themselves, it's just the amount of points that's needed.
Yeah, but it stayed the same amount of points as it was before, which has been rather generous, if that makes sense. Because chances are by the next siege raid, we're going to get new siege armors. So why pick up old siege armors in hopes of using them.
Well, see, and here's where though I think a big disconnect comes sometimes, is because saying that the points are not that bad, you're speaking as somebody who can hit the very top level targets and get 10 million points at a shot. That's not possible for everybody. There's still a lot of people who don't have their Praetorian fleet to the point that where they can do that. I mean, it seems like they're changing and designing the FM top targets now around maybe like the top 5 to 10% of the game, and that's not right in my opinion. The FM is supposed to be a point where, if you're there and you can already achieve this, that's fine, but it's supposed to be like your goalpost that, like, okay, if you can't get to this is what you need to work your way up to, not something to be changed every 3 months to be more difficult targets, because we already have to deal with that in raid and pillage and for those who participate in bounty or shipwrecks. We already have that escalation going on there. That's really not what the FM is supposed to be about.
Well, this was, I remember back in the day, obviously I was the alliance leader of a couple of different alliances, and now I'm just general dog's body. But when a player came in and they were a lower level, you say, right, first thing you do is you concentrate, you build your FM fleet, get your FM fleet done first, and then you say, then work on your raid fleet, and because PvP basically is a luxury after that, Once you get yourself sorted and you get the bits you need, you can start working your PvP stuff, Learn the game first, pick up the bits that you need. So it was always that. But I mean, when you see the amount of points now that is needed for some of the, the way the FM's got, it is shutting a lot of people out. And I think I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy the way it's going, because if they want to entice players back in, putting that sort of huge obstacle in front of players, it's not good,
I saw a couple of posts on the Facebook forums that somebody said, why don't they just get rid of the 121s and below? I'm sitting there thinking, are you freaking crazy? What are the lower levels going to do?
Get free fleets.
They'll be sitting there twiddling their thumbs.
Well, I'll tell you what, how I do my FM. I hit 121s, 120s with 5 ships, and I've got it out for a few hours while I'm watching something on the another monitor, watching Netflix or something like that, and I'll have that one I'll have them going for a few hours, do it for free. Like I said, but when it gets to the point where I've got to start paying to do it, no, I'm not going to.
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah.
The FM, I don't think I've paid for, minus the refits I do to testing.
Yeah.
The repairs, you just slow repair. You've got a week to do it. Sure, some of the timers are batshit crazy, but you've still got a week. So get the tokens and all your chests first, and then just spend the rest of the week just slowly grinding. No one should say they need to spend gold on FM.
I know what you're saying theoretically. Theoretically, that's a good idea, but that means you say you can do it. You smash your fleet up and put it in repair. But if other actions going on in your life, if you're fighting battles with alliances and stuff like that, and whatever else is going on, that's not always an option. Because you've got other fleets repairing, or a dock down even, so that could be
opposed to a second repair queue.
Yeah. Yeah, an FM repair queue would be welcomed.
No, just have what they do in Bounty, a Conqueror and a
PvE repair queue. Yeah, I mean that would be nice for everybody,
Yeah, that would be really.
And something else too. You say you have all week to do the FM, and most times that is true. But then sometimes you have events like pillage, where you need to be using your Praetorian fleet to also do pillage as well as your FM. At that point, you don't have all week to do your FM because you got to be trying to do pillage with it at the same time.
And if you have your Praetorian set up to do pillage, chances are they're not going to work really well in the 131, and they're definitely not going to work well at all in the 137s that are out.
Nothing works well in the 137. Apart from
Well,
Dragon.
speaking of the pillage targets and the FM targets being different, actually, Half Centaur was on Discord the other day, and we were talking, and I said something to him about, it would be really nice if you would try to get the damages more standardized on the garrison targets. That way, my build that's effective for the 131 will be effective in pillage, will be effective here, and will be effective there. And he actually seemed fairly receptive to that, so we can cross our fingers and hope.
So the thing I have
Only
with that,
one can pray.
the thing I have with that is the 124 and the 126 are different builds, but the 131 build works perfectly fine in the 124 and the 126. It's just the 126 you need to drive because they hate autoers. Which, yeah.
It all depends on the path you go.
Why just auto it?
No. Got too many, I help.
I mean, I just think it's fascinating that they think changing the target is what will relieve the boredom of the FM, and that's not the case at all. The problem with the FM is the amount of points that's needed and how many targets you have to hit. That's what makes the FM boring. It doesn't matter how many times you change the target. That's not going to change.
Yeah, I concur. I agree with
To
that.
be fair, so you've got people like me, TiVo, and Temp, where we enjoy the new targets because it gives us something of a challenge to do. See, we see the 137 and be like, how can we beat it? We can't, but So
But there again, like I was saying earlier, that's catering to a very small select group of players, though, as opposed to your player base
I
at
mean,
large,
sure, but
which just doesn't, from a business perspective, doesn't make any sense.
it depends. If the small minority are paying, say, 1,000 a month, whereas the big majority are paying 500 a month.
Yeah, but are those small percentages paying 1,000 a month on the FM? Of course not.
I mean, it depends. I've seen some people mentioning the names.
And the fact that they're going to change the target every few months means that for a lot of people, lower level, by the time they've got their fleet built, it's been changed again.
I mean, we could even talk about the large amount of people who, when they started coming out with these 10 million point targets and the 7 million point targets and whatnot, who didn't even have Praetorians built at that point. I mean, that was probably more people than not that didn't have them built. And, so those guys are really scrambling. They're just kind of starting to get to the point now where, okay, well, I can do a 131 even though I'm still taking a crap ton of damage. They're not in that they're not in that percentage of people who are doing the target for like an hour or hour and a half damage, or in some cases even less than an hour. So there again, it's you're basing this whole fundamental core chore that everybody needs to be able to do around just a small select group of people, and I don't think that's right, and I don't think that's a smart play.
And the same thing happened with the dragons, if y'all remember. Everybody's seeing posts on Facebook and everything that they didn't even have a dragon fleet fully completed until probably a week or two before the Praetorians came out. So they weren't able to hit the 120s and the 121s, and now they got to get another FM fleet put together. But we were hit during the raid a couple months ago when the Praetorians come out, and I think the Saturns and the Nimis came out at the same time. So everybody was scrambling to do your FM fleet, the new FM fleet, plus the new raid fleet.
See, from a logical standpoint, I see a new ship coming out, and I'm like, okay, so that's giving us a hint as to what to come. So that should be on the build list. whether it's priority or not. I don't agree with when they released it, and I don't agree with when they changed the FM. But it's one of them things. If you didn't at least have some Praetorians built, that's more user error and not thinking of the future rather than, oh, it's Kickstarter's fault.
But I think on the flip side of that, though, you got to remember that we don't actually have a garrison cycle anymore that allows us time to build that garrison fleet. We're trying to squeeze the garrison fleet in when we're trying to build all the raid fleets on top of it.
That's what I mean. I don't agree with when they were released and when they changed the FM targets. That, to me, was a bad timing due to, as whoever it was said, they released them when other ships came out. That was poor timing. Well, it wasn't poor timing because some people coined them. Not mention any names. Apex.
Oh, whatever.
But no, it's just one of them things of, if you see a new ship coming out, it's like when you see the skirmish ship come out, you know that you're going to need to build it because you know the targets will change. Kind of same goes with FM.
Okay, here. Go ahead.
We wouldn't be having this issue if they did go to their FM transition of making the FM the old cycle hull. It would be a lot more simpler, but yeah.
Y'all do realize when Pillage comes out, you're gonna have 2 hulls to build, don't you? We're gonna have the flag, and then we're gonna have the secondary hull.
I myself, I'm not even going to bother with the secondary hull. I've done my raids just fine, hardly using the last 2, so I don't really feel a need to have the next secondary hull.
I like the secondary hulls.
Yeah,
Well,
so
Secondary hulls, and I haven't used them.
They can be fun and they can be cool, but they're certainly not mandatory. Is my point, though.
It depends.
Well, that doesn't depend because I've done all the raids that had secondary hulls without using the secondary hulls.
Oh yeah, what I'm going to say is the Scoundrel's a lot more useful than what the Suppressor was, but that's primarily if you want to do the 900s, which are an optional target. So yeah, as you say, you don't necessarily need it.
Right.
So did you end up doing the 901 solo?
Yes.
Okay.
I was third because TiVo beat me.
Ah. Yeah, they were a bit of a challenge.
They're a fun target.
Like I don't know exactly what Damien's going on about here. About you shouldn't expect to get in a couple months what I've got over the course of 8 years. I've been playing this game 8 years myself. I got a 3 million user ID. I started right after Blackwater, so I'm not sure exactly what you're on about. But anyway, I think a lot of the stress and mental consternation from the FM changes might be relieved too if they would stop being sedan stingy with Praetorian tokens.
I mean, I can back that one. That's something I can back.
I mean, even if they just put them in the raids or even in pillage, it would help people.
I mean, because like at this point, not only do we not have a garrison cycle in which to build our garrison fleets, but then we're down to 2-month raid cycles now to, crank out a raid fleet. And if you want to, the optionary secondary hull plus get all the upgrades in. It's like, when do people have time to be working on their Praetorians? I mean, not giving us that many tokens was a totally different story when we had a garrison cycle. But you need to lay off the purse strings a little bit when it comes to the garrison tokens at this point.
I mean, I do agree we should have Praetorian tokens by now. But yeah. We ain't getting them.
With the FM, I usually run Praetorians 3 to 4 times into a 131, and then overnight repair, and then repeat the next day.
Yeah,
And if I
can-
really get bored, I'll pull out my dragons and go and hit 120s and 121s.
I can usually do about 5 or 6 131s, and then I repair overnight. I could probably do more, but there again, I haven't had the time to work on them to tweak them a little bit more because I'm trying to build all the other stuff. So,
See, the thing I have with it is, at the end of the day, it is a free-to-play game. They need to make money. Their money will come from trying to push things to force people to coin, because that is their main moneymaker.
well, yeah, but I think they would make a lot more money by enticing people to coin as opposed to pushing them to coin. Because there's so many other games out there that's how they make their money, like by enticing you to spend money, not forcing you to.
I do agree, but I have a feeling they've tried enticing people before and they didn't do it. So now their second best option is to try and force it.
So what you're saying is the marketing department isn't very imaginative.
Of course they're not.
I think they're in a situation where they've lost so many players. If they had over 100,000 players, they could live with everybody spending $10, $20 a month or less. But now they've gone down. They've lost, 4/5 of their players. That they have to try and hit everyone, the loyal players, harder in the pocket to keep the balance sheets even. You know what I mean? To keep the same amount of money coming in, really. Or it's something that they created by their own mistakes initially, but unfortunately, we end up paying for it. But we're kind of stuck with it now, because then you're not going to get 80,000 players coming back. If you do, the only way you're going to do that is let them hit the ground running, and give them like your secondary fleet for virtually everything you could do in the game, almost.
Hey, Mayor, do you have any insight on how this HTML5 conversion's going?
Fucking no idea.
That will be discussed if you look in BP next week. They said when the update comes out, the devs are going to be on and saying a post about what's going on with HTML, whatever.
HTML5, Hypertext Markup Language 5.
Yeah, they are supposed to be something about that. So
from what I've heard, the devs are playing it on the test servers, and it seems to be extremely stable on the test servers. But whether that translates to when they push it live, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is it doesn't have the limitations that Flash has got. I mean, Flash is like a 20-year-old plus program. It was never really intended to be pushed as far. And it has obviously memory limitations. That's why the game slows down and it crashes, because you run out of the memory. Yeah, you don't get that with Hypertext Markup Language because it's a much more modern, like codec, and it's designed to, be used. I mean, if you're building a website, something like that, you're using Hypertext Markup Language 5. If you're working on the web, and we're playing this game on the internet, on the web. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's got a much bigger capacity to be for them to code into, so hopefully we shouldn't get the lag and the slowdowns, that we've been experiencing. If they can, the thing is of course, is the clean transition that I don't think anyone's expecting to happen smoothly. There's going to be a lot of glitches when they eventually do go to it.
Well, there's also a big difference between when Kixeye says they're testing something, and when it goes live and we actually end up testing it and finding all the problems.
Wait a minute. Did they say they tested something?
I always thought we were the testers. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I don't know of any. I don't know of any testing that's going on for a while now. To be totally honest, and I can say that without breaking any confidence that to the best of my knowledge, there has been no testing for a while now.
Well, you got to think the last couple of weeks, every time the update put in, Facebook, Battle of Pirates has crashed for 2 or 3 hours.
You're on Exhibit A, the 901. In the last
It's been
week.
blamed on
Yeah.
an Amazon server ISP junction.
So I know they do testing because Centaur's tested some of my builds before. He's asked me for them and then tested them. So they do testing. It's just, yeah. Their testing and our testing is two different things. As the
I was
player,
going to say when I talk about testing, I'm talking about testing that's not the employees. Is what I'm talking about.
yeah. Good luck with that.
So when they use your fleet, Mayor, they figure, okay, if his fleet can make it through, we need to turn everything up so his fleet can't make it through, right?
Basically, that's how it's going.
Okay, so give them the worst build you can.
I have them. But they will willingly log on to the account and look for themselves.
Why give them access?
Yeah.
You have no choice.
They can
Why is he using
look at your
cargo
account
hold?
no matter what.
Why is he using cargo hold 3 as a special?
Well, I mean, and seriously, it's not like they would even have to ask him for his builds. They have access to his account. They can go pull his builds. I mean, they've gone into my account and pulled my builds several times.
It's dumb.
I'm still waiting to run into one of my own bases for bounty.
I've done that.
I don't think I've ever seen my own one, but I've seen similar.
No, I've actually had my own base in Bounty. I think it's been about a little over a year ago.
I'd kind of like to, because at least then, it's like, because you never actually get to hit your own base normally, do you? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, you can give yourself your own base test.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's pretty bad when your own base kills yourself.
That's true.
But you also know where you might need to make a few changes as well. You can see it, Yeah, that's nice. So.
Oh no, I never got past the second turn. But that's back when the Howies were still good too.
Yeah, Mayor for Mod 2020. Yeah, well, I mean, he does have that. He does have that occasional assholeless tendency that it takes to be a mod.
He's on there enough.
Hey, when you play enough games, you can be on there everything.
Nah, I couldn't let a whole show go by without saying something. All right, but before we pull the plug on this, does anybody have anything else they want to talk about that we haven't touched on yet?
A priest?
No.
BP next week is bounty.
You ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
Are you doing it?
Hell no.
I mean, we could talk about bounty.
Watch everybody else do it, huh?
Think how fun bounty is going to be.
Yeah, I've just totally given up on PvP. I don't even care about it anymore. My base hasn't been touched in probably like 8 months now.
I'll touch you.
I was going to say, for those that do PvP, and there's a reasonably good deal out there for 300 gold if you spend money. Then it's what we got.
16-day build tokens.
16 days. Yeah, 16 days worth of build tokens, Conqueror build tokens,
I've already seen that.
You could save 467 gold if you was going to con your fleet, whatever.
Chuck? Look
I
on their
logged in the other
screen.
day and there were 29 TLOs offered to my base. I was like, what?
I've only got 5 now, but I did have quite a few, I think, before. But yeah, I haven't refreshed. But I've got 5 now.
I think the best thing about Bounty is how it's instant repair.
But no, the Conqueror build tokens, I think, shall I grab them? You know, but I had a look and I've already got 46 Conqueror build tokens. So that's not a bad start anyway, you know.
Yeah, because you can research your own build tokens on the Conqueror fleets.
No, you can research the VXP tokens, but not the build tokens.
No, I wish you could research build tokens. Maybe
Yeah.
I'd get back into PvP then.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, I'm stuck at 99 at the moment because I haven't had a Conqueror. We haven't really had Conqueror hulls to build for a little while, you know. So I filled it up pretty quickly, you know.
Does anybody want to take a wild guess what fleet that we might be using during the Halloween event?
I don't even want to
Dragoons.
know.
I would guess our assault fleet, and they'll probably do the thing with the ghost ship things again. I actually kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think that was fun last year, if I remember rightly. We had a good laugh with it, you know. And it wasn't painful, you know. It wasn't painfully expensive to join in. And it's nice, you know, if they throw you a bone every now and again, you think, yeah, well, okay. And if you could do more of that, maybe more people would be coming back again, you know.
I love it when they give me a good bone.
Oh, yeah.
They're asking in chat about the Houndmaster. Everything I've seen and heard said it's absolute garbage.
The only good thing about the Houndmaster is the bonuses it gives to the friggin' Carnage.
If you got Carnages. I mean, I've got some built, but I haven't got any in my hole in my base card at the moment, you know. So it's just because they were like the, you know, well, unruly, weren't they? Just run off and do what they want. I know this technically like reins them in, but I still don't think that it solves the problem fully. You know what I mean? And Carnages themselves, you can just drive through them for the most part.
Just real quick, Carl, shut your mouth about OP12. I have no desire to see that on the horizon anytime soon. You just shut up.
I'm looking forward to building the new walls, man.
Top 12 is coming when I become a mod.
Yeah, I want my tier 11 walls.
I gotta find that button to ban Carl from the chat. I'm sorry, go ahead.
QR room.
I just hope one thing. Next month's raid, they fix the prize list where you don't click and then it shoots back to the top. You have to scroll all the way back down to find what you're looking for and keep, right after the other, one after the other.
Do you know what? I will never moan about rolling for crews again. Right? After having to get 40 of the upgrade kits, like for the new Pegasus hull.
Yeah.
You had to scroll halfway down the prize list, click it, and then it shot you back to the top. And you think, why can't you just put in? Give me the lot of it if you've got enough points. Yeah. If you have enough points, you should just be able to type it in. It's just a simple freaking database. You know?
have a little buy all option beside it.
Yeah, I used to program databases years ago, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just put the amount, how many do you want? And you type in, I want X amount, and that amount, boom, give me them. As long as you've got the, as long as you've achieved enough points to claim them, yeah, boom, there you go. Got to save yourself 15 minutes,
I have a question real quick that I want to ask you guys, and I can relay this to Kix then. Prizes that you would like to see in Pillage.
Rolling barrel. I didn't even get that special in the last raid because I fell short.
I wasted 20 million points in the raid.
I wasted 20 million points at the end because I had nothing to spend it on.
So, anybody else have anything they'd like to see in Pillage?
I don't know.
I know for me, I'd like to see the Prometheus in there, and I would also, actually would like to see a cap limit raised on penetrated sync drives, and some more of those available.
Flag VXP.
Yeah, I think the pen sync drive for people, I stripped the pen sync drives off of my Saturns, and then I refitted the Saturns because you could pick up these Saturn build tokens during the raid, yeah. And then I refitted them instead with the corrosive sync drives, and the Saturns still go out and hit the 95s for instant map repair. So it didn't make any changes to it. It really didn't. And that allowed me. So now I'm putting the pen sync drives onto the Pegasus. That's my build anyway. On the Pegasus, it'll either, as I said, it'll either work or fail miserably. We'll find out.
I'm probably some surgical strike warheads in there for the people who either didn't get any or didn't get as many as what they need for their upcoming fleet that they're buying. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have in there either.
That came out in shards, and you had to hit the top targets, I think, in the last raid to get them.
That
That
doesn't mean that they can't put shards even in the store though either.
Yeah, but they said you had to have 8 shards just to make one. So those that can't hit the top targets in the FM and couldn't hit the top targets in the raid had no chance of getting them, just like the bladed missile.
I personally think that in every event, and we have a lot of them, virtually everything should be out there for everybody. You can win things in a different way, yeah. Because if you've already got stuff, you just click the already owned, and then what bits you might want, yeah. All right, there's some people that's going to have a hell of a list, but if it's stuff they need, then they've just got to work out what they want.
I know at one point in time in War Commander, every raid had every prize available that was ever offered. So I don't know if they still do that over there or not, but it's like, well, if War Commander can do it, why the hell can't we do it?
Yeah, I think they should be able to do it. I mean, I've never played War Commander, it's the only one I play. I'm too busy to do anything else.
Wasn't they supposed to be doing that like in the whole raid? Wasn't they supposed to have every hole that's made out there, and then like the tech raid, every piece of tech that was supposed to be out should be out in it?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't have specific hull raids or tech raids anymore. We just have a big raid that has a bunch of shit in it.
Yeah, and plus it's got the new tech and that's in it that we need.
I mean, there's a lot of tech out there. There's a lot of holes out there that are completely superfluous now. We don't need them. They could almost be removed from the game, because they won't work in vast majority of things apart from hitting a target on the map to get res for a very low level player, yeah. And for the most part, if a low level player was to come in, people would do a little bit of prepping for them anyway, they could remove a lot of the bump that's still bloatware virtually now in the game, that it's just not viable anymore in the game. They could start removing it.
I mean, a lot of the prizes wouldn't be that hard to come up with.
Hopefully, when they move over to HTML5, then if they do that, they don't carry that across, because we don't need it all.
Well,
it depends on what you classify as viable.
Some of the specials, don't get me wrong, are still viable, but some of the hulls, the very, very old hulls, are never really going to be used again. They don't, apart from maybe a couple of flagship hulls that are added, something to the rest of the fleet. But it might be possible to keep a few of them in. But I mean, for the vast majority of the very old hulls that are 4 or 5 years old, they'll go. You know what I mean? They're researchable hulls.
Hey, Damnation.
What's up?
It was a couple of months ago before Steelfront took over that they said they was going to put tier 6 in for research, and nothing ever came about that. And that could be good for the lower levels. Maybe you can ask about that because it was in one of the Wrong Thinkers posts they was talking about doing that.
Okay, I can bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you start putting high-level holes in as researchable holes, that would make more sense. To take out the junk that's in there now, you know, because that is no good for hardly anybody. You know what I mean? Must admit, it broke my heart when I had to get rid of my, some of them old holes that I worked so hard to get. But you know, for the vast majority of people, they're never going to use it, or they're gone. You know, and if you want to come in and hit the ground running, or get within a certain amount of time, you get much higher level holes. And I think, yeah, if you made them researchable, that'd be much better, and a shorter research time, because you can't expect people to do 8 years of work to get into this game. You know what I mean? That some of us have played. Yeah, you know, they've got to hit the ground or get up. I don't mind if a player gets in up to our level in a year. You know, with spending a bit of money and getting in there. Yeah, because I don't expect them to come straight into other level. You know, but at least they've got the opportunity to and come in with a reasonably good fleet where they can do and play the game. You know.
Oh, and I would just like to mention to everybody, you're welcome for the VXP targets not looking the exact same as the FM targets anymore, because I brought that up the other day, and within like 12 hours they had changed that. So
A lot of other people did too.
Thank you. Yeah, I did see that, and it's I'd already finished the FM, the VXP by then, but yeah.
and I just know, like, with the exact same, and like most people, I'm not going to say most, but a lot of people just send their fleets in to die, and if you end up with a VXP target stacked on top of an FM target, and you just right-click it and then go back to watching your TV show, and you go back and you're like, oh, wow, look, I just died, but it was in the FM target, and I got absolutely buckets for it, except for like a 13-hour repair bill, so... It's like, that was just such a simple change, something that didn't take them long to do at all, but it was one of those low-hanging fruit quality of life improvements that they like to talk about so much.
Yeah, you've hit a lady boy. You know.
On that note, I think we're wrapping it up for tonight.
Sorry.
So, hey, thanks for coming out and watching, guys, and joining in chat. I always appreciate you guys talking in chat. I try to interact with you some and read your comments and answer some of them and threaten to ban people like Carl from chat for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. But anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate you. And we will talk to you next week. And they'll be talking about bounty. I'll just be here pushing buttons. But anyway.
Priests.
All right, take it easy, guys. Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Good night, all.
Yep. And
Good night.
good luck all. Yeah.